One of the biggest challenges for entrepreneurs is finding the right fit for their employees on benefits, finding the right fits for property insurance, and making sure you're making the right decisions. And one of the things you want is a relationship with whoever you do insurance with. I recommend Cross as a major company to do business with, not only in Maine, but throughout New England and down into Florida. The biggest thing you focus on is health insurance and benefits.
Right, employee benefits. I'm actually a licensed consultant and have been so since about 2005 or so.
It's critical, really, for a small business to not be overinsured, but at the same time providing things, especially for their employees when we're dealing with a pretty competitive employee climate.
Yeah.
Having a beer with Fred is really about getting to people's passion and what makes them tick. Having a beer and having honest, frank, clear conversation that inspires our audience is what it's about. Cheers, Paul.
Cheers, Fred.
Like you said, it's been a while.
It's been too long.
Yes, we've been fortunate enough to know each other since, what, 5th or 6th grade or 7th grade?
Around 5th or 6th grade, yes.
In Gray, Maine.
Yes.
And right now we're at 27 Hancock Street in Portland, Maine, the tasting room. And so what's fun is you and I have been friends for a number of years. And since 5th grade, 6th grade, we sailed on a little sunfish on Crystal Lake. And we hung out together at different times. And then I remember through your career, I remember just have flashbacks where you got it. I think you were going to USM and you met and got into the insurance business. I don't remember the exact first company, but I remember when you were with the Buckley Group.
Yep.
And you were with a group of guys that was like Mike LaBelle and Phil Harriman and Paul Buckley Sr. and Paul Buckley Jr. and I was a bunch of people, right? How long ago was that?
Oh, you've got a great memory, Fred. So I started right out of college with a company called Northwestern Mutual.
Yeah.
I was there about 3 years. And Michael Liberty introduced me to Phil Herman and Michael LaBelle. So I decided to make the change over to the Buckley Group.
Yeah.
And that was in 1986. I met Paul Buckley Jr. in about 87 or so. And we started a real friendship and ultimately began the Buckley Group of Portland. And Paul was my partner for about 27 years.
Wow, 27 years.
27 years as a partnership. And then in 2015, we sold our company, which then was known as BGA Financial. And my three partners at that time, Mark Anthony and Steve Carew and Paul Buckley, we sold to Cross
Insurance. So
Cross Insurance. And
based out of Bangor, Maine, and now Jonathan Cross is running that company?
Yes. So Royce at the time came knocking, and Roy
Cross.
Just a great guy he's a handshake guy.
He was the second generation.
Second generation, yeah.
And then Jonathan's the third generation.
Third generation, yes.
And they bought into your company. A lot of times people don't survive in a relationship where they come in. You were an entrepreneur running your own company with a few partners. And
it's great, Fred. I don't have to worry about making payroll. I come and go as I please. Nobody reports to me, so it's, and I'm fortunate to have great clients like yourself over the years. It's been an absolute pleasure. Yeah. And I'm still totally enjoying this business. And I've got a great young partner, Carl Gilman, I brought on about 6.5 years ago. And it's made me younger, and I'm just having a great time.
So one of the nice things is Cross Insurance is what powers Shipyard. We've been involved with Cross actually since Paul Allen's sold Buckley Group to Cross. We moved our health benefits into Cross Insurance, and Paul was able to stay there, and we still have that relationship. But also, in a unique circumstance, Michael Reale, who had his own independent insurance business where we did the property, got bought by Cross, and he stayed on with Cross Insurance for a number of years. And we still have all our insurance with Cross for the most part, almost 100%. And we've been through a lot of things, both on the property side and on the benefits side. And I recommend Cross as a major company to do business with, not only in Maine, but throughout New England and down into Florida. Can you cover the whole country? Are you covering the whole country?
Yes. At one point in time, I was actually licensed in all 50 states. Not anymore, maybe like 20, but I have, clients in multiple states.
So the biggest thing you focus on is health insurance mainly, right? And benefits.
Right, employee benefits. I'm actually a licensed consultant and have been so since about 2005 or so.
And we've had a very complicated case because we've got a number of separate LLCs. We went through Obamacare, and in the middle of that, we decided we're going to self-insure. We had a lot of stress moments. I be calling you at all hours of the night and weekends. And the one thing one of the things you want is a relationship with whoever you do insurance with. Today, a lot of people go online and get insurance and never even see a person, but we've been very involved. You've been very involved. And I often recommend Cross both for employee benefits, but also for property and casualty, and honestly, any insurance question. Whether it's from Jonathan Cross to any of the key employees, I've referred and will continue to refer them as at least somebody to give an opportunity to. And I feel strongly that they're a great company in any level. And we've had our moments where, we've had to go to a bit, fight for and advocate for a payment on a claim. And Cross has been there right there with us, with the companies that ultimately have the policies, which insurance is a little complicated. And the property side, a lot of times they transfer to Travelers or other companies that actually hold the insurance. And Cross is basically your broker, right? Would you call it a broker?
Yes, broker, consultant, yeah.
And that's the same thing with health insurance, right? And employee benefits. You represent Cross, but you also can put us with different companies that really ultimately insure and pay the claims.
Correct. And with my consultant license, I actually represent my clients. So I have a fiduciary responsibility to take care of you, to put your best interests first. That's what I've always done, but that's just that's what my license entails.
Yeah. We've had a lot of fun doing that too. Like, I think this year was our 30th year of doing a ski trip at Sunday River. And going way back, we did it as fun. And then I said, Paul, let's use this for business. And I would introduce different people, say, hey, listen, why don't you go on a ski trip on Buckley Group or on Cross Insurance? And you get to meet the guys and also interface with other insurance people that are other companies that have been insured by Cross. And how many customers do you think you've gotten out of that over the years?
I was trying to think of that recently. So it's got to be at least 20, because almost every year you bring somebody new with you. Say, Paul, let's invite so-and-so to the trip. And we really hit it off, and they become clients of mine and long-term clients, like Ken Wood, for example, which has been for Atar Engineering for a long, long time.
Right. And that's, and from my perspective, I don't think I've ever got a call, hey, you steered me wrong. These guys don't know the business. They don't know the industry. They're not competitive, et cetera. I don't think I've had that happen once in my referral to people. And one of the things about this show is to talk about entrepreneurship. And one of the biggest challenges for entrepreneurs is finding the right fit for their employees on benefits, finding the right fits for property insurance, for finding and making sure you're making the right decisions. And it's critical, really, for a small business to not be overinsured, but at the same time providing things, especially for their employees when we're dealing with a pretty competitive and employee climate.
Yeah, Cross is a family business. We're very much about family. That's what I've always been about myself. So taking care of people. I've got a great team, and no plans on retiring anytime soon. That's good. But our ski trip's been going on for over 30 years. It's been a great time over those years, but a lot of great people, and just the people I continue to meet on events. I miss some of the older events though, Fred. We need to bring them back.
The Ship of Fools down in Florida.
Big Japs golf tournament down in Florida. Those are always a great time.
Yeah. Everything evolves. We definitely need to bring a trip back to the Tampa Bay area. I know a lot of people are going to go to the Patriots Tampa Bay game November 9th, and I don't know if we could pull one off by then, but it takes fun people like you to inspire us to do those things. We even did a boat tour to the UK when we went to the Ringwood Brewery over there in England, 4-day trip, and people still talk about that one.
That was so much fun.
Yeah,
it was an unbelievable trip, and I've been back since, and one of the favorite stops here was the Dickens Inn, which was a 3-story pub there, and I went back there a few years ago when the Red Sox played the Yankees.
Oh, no kidding.
In London.
Yeah,
and I made a stop there.
Yeah, no, those are always fun. Those were
Yeah.
great times, and we'll keep doing it, Paul. Well, cheers, and I appreciate
Cheers.
you taking the time.
My
See,
my pleasure, Fred.
cheers.
Always good to be seen, not being viewed.